Looking for Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins with fast delivery? IG Vault has the cheapest and most reliable coins on the market. Click the link in the description and use coupon code SPORTS for 6% off your order. Oh, what's up? It's Duke back here from sportsgamers.com. In today's Madden 21 tip video, I'm going to break down an unstoppable 3-play run scheme that's going to allow you guys to dominate on the ground, move the ball very effectively against any run defense out. This scheme's very easy to use and very explosive. I haven't done a run scheme video in a while, but they are always very popular, so I want to give you a new one from the Ravens playbook, the Baltimore Ravens playbook on offense. You don't need any abilities, any specific things to run this scheme. You know, anyone can use it in any mode. The one thing I will say is when running this game, I always put my ball carrier on conservative. That's just going to prevent fumbles. I mean, I know a lot of people do like to stay unbalanced or sometimes even aggressive when they're running the ball, but to me, it's just not worth the risk because that one fumble can ruin your game. Well, on conservative, you pretty much don't even have to worry about fumbles. You know, you can still stop and go, you know, and all those types of things. Still try to make people miss even when you're on conservative. So, guys, we're going to be looking at this 3-play run scheme from the gun wing. Now, the 3 runs I'm going to use are going to be, first of all, the 45 quick base. Second is going to be either inside zone or read option. Now, I prefer read option if you have a somewhat mobile quarterback. Here we have the Seahawks in this video. Russell Wilson, he's fine. You know, obviously he's not Lamar Jackson, but he'll do the trick. Now, if you have a statue, if you don't have one, you can use inside zone. But if you do have a threat running the ball at quarterback, I would say read option is a little bit better. Finally, we're going to use the Raven QB power, and this one you will definitely want to have some speed at quarterback. Again, if you don't, it's fine. Just use the first 2 runs in this scheme, and that'll work just fine. Now, guys, if you can get me 350 likes on this video, I'll release some passing plays to go along with these runs. Now, you're about to see that these runs are going to kill all the meta-type stuff people do. I'm going to break down 3-5 wide, which is the 3-man lines, and then even some 4-man lines like the big nickels and whatever to show you guys how it could work against you know, all the different things you're going to see online. So let's get into it right now. Let's start with the 45 quick base. Now, before I get too far in the video, guys, if you're enjoying my content, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, drop me a like on the video, turn your notifications on. All that stuff really does help me out a lot as a content creator. And if you want to support me further, check out sportsgamers.com. That's where I put all my premium tips, ebooks, offensive and defensive schemes if you guys are looking to get better at the game. So let's start with the 3-3-5 wide. As we all know, very, very common defense. Now, this defense is really, really good against most runs. Most of the time, people can shoot them, but this 45 quick base, it's not going to work. So you guys can run this play stock as is and just hide the ball, or what's going to give you even better blocking is if you actually motion this tight end across the formation. So the outside right tight end to the left, and that's going to give you another player to pick up that edge guy. That's going to allow you to get that consistent rush. Now, some formations, you're not really going to want to do that. It actually would maybe even hurt you. But against this 3-3-5 wide, I do like to do it most of the time because this edge guy will always get picked up. And at that point, you just need to pull in guard to not allow the user to shoot the gap. And then, you know, you basically have about 5 yards. Easy, just like you see there. Now, obviously, there's different defenses that they could use, different shifts. That was just the standard Mike Blitz 3, no shift. You might see a different look where someone might go the match cover 4. And, you know, they might, you know, and they could do this with any defense, but you might see them start to shift their D-line to try to kind of just come in the gap. Now, again, you don't have to motion. So you guys can see here, if I don't motion, I would have gotten a good gain there. It's just the D tackle just shedded so fast I couldn't do anything. But, you know, generally speaking, as long as we get that block just like that, see? You know, we have a nice little opening to get a nice little 8 or so yards. Very, very easy. Like I said, though, it is probably more effective against these types of fronts to motion the tight end. But, I mean, you can still see here, you're able to get, you know, nice little solid run up the middle, fall in our blocker for a solid chunk of yards. You guys can see here, we do have 68 out in front of us who's able to, you know, get out and allow us to get about like an 8-yard gain. Now, if they shift their D-line, to the side you're trying to run, I would probably make sure to do the motion. See, they shift their line left or running left. That's just going to make sure you can pick up that edge rusher. You can cut it back, get at least a 4 to 5 yard gain. Like I said, 4 to 5 yard gains don't look like the most, but I promise you guys, they keep the chains moving, and when you always have the ability to break it for more, it's really effective. Now, you're about to see in a second here, they can't really even shift their line. And the reason for that is we have other runs we can use that will attack the other side of the formation. But I do want to show it first before I move on to that. Just this run against a 4-man line like big nickel over G. You guys can see here, you should be able to get good yardage against this type of defense. If you take a look at the replay, they had no containment on the outside. As soon as that DN got blocked, we were right there. Easy off the edge. Again, 5-6 yards, no problem. Now, what a lot of people like to do from these types of formations is pinch their line and then just try to shoot the gap with their user, which, that's not going to work here because, that is more so designed for inside zone type runs, and you can't do that on something like this. It's just not going to work. Now, getting back to what I said, if you do see the defense adjusting and trying to shift their line to the side that you were running the base, you could still run the base, but something I would like to do is hit them with the power. Like, the power is going to take advantage of that type of defense. So, like here, if you guys see that, something like that is happening, the power would be a very nice call, because now, as you guys can see here, you have very, favorable numbers advantages, and, as long as you don't get an insta-shed or just something unfortunate happening to where they're able to blow you up in the backfield. And I didn't really even have the best stick here. I cut it back, bounced off some blockers, and I got big yardage. But the other thing I want you guys to notice is the running back, he was lead blocking around the corner. So I could have cut this outside if I had better vision. And see, everyone's picked up, and I probably could have gone around everyone for a touchdown. So the read option is key to read that edge defender. If you guys see that he stays at home, which again he is going to stay at home because we put our option defense on conservative, you hand the ball off and you basically just read your blocks for yardage. Now, if taking a look at the replay, the defender off the edge crashed down on the handoff action, you would keep it with the quarterback. And again, you guys can see that it tells us to read this guy. He stays at home, we hand the ball off, and we're just able to take our yardage here, which is about 10, 11 yards. However, if this guy did not stay at home, see how he stays at home, if he crashed in, kept running into the handoff, we could have kept it with the quarterback for a big gain. This is essentially turns into an inside zone, but like I said, if you don't have the mobile quarterback, you can just run inside zone and just keep it at that. The reason why you want to have one of these plays in your scheme is because inside zones and read options are very effective this year. The thing about it is because they're just standard man-to-man blocking, basically, users can shoot the gap, especially on inside zones. So when you have a power run play, it's not like that. They can't no longer shoot the gap. So now you have just the ability to mix in both types of runs, and it's much more difficult to stop. You guys can see there, when they're not shooting the gap, you can just kind of read your lanes and pick and choose, where to attack based upon your blocking. And you're going to be able to get good runs very consistently. If you have good run stick, this is going to be a very good run for you. Now, the other thing is, same thing here. You can always, on all these runs, you can motion this tight end over to make them all look the same. As you guys can see here, when you do motion them over, you get a little bit more stronger blocking to the left, so you may want to cut it more outside left and trying to cut it back up the middle, as I did in the previous examples. But as always with running the ball, it's just all about utilizing your blocks and reading the blocks. So the reason why I like this run scheme so much is the base is kind of the bread and butter. The base is the run that's going to destroy all the meta run defenses out there. It's going to make them over-adjust. And once they do that, this formation has other good run plays that you can utilize and motions too that will take advantage of that and keep them on your heels. They're the defense on their heels, so they don't know how to stunt, how to shift, and if they're going to be able to, what gaps they could potentially shoot with their user. And that's the whole key to having a successful run scheme this year. So like I said, guys, if you want to see some effective passing plays from this formation, make sure to hit that like goal, and we'll drop it for y'all. Until then, it's Duke. I'm out of here.